I want to specifically talk about motherhood and fitness today because the way I train now as a mum has changed so much from back in the day before I had kids and through all the different stages I've been in life. This is by far the most challenging in terms of sticking to a routine, sticking to my plans, my goals when it comes to my health and my wellness. So I really want to speak into this today to give you some tools to actually take away and to be more effective with your health and fitness goals, with moving your body and doing your workouts and eating healthy and all of the things. So the biggest thing I want to talk about is, first of all, motivation. We cannot rely on motivation as mums because when you're sleep deprived, when you are being tested in the best of ways with your children, testing the boundaries or having a meltdown or whatever it is, you've got to regulate your own emotions and keep yourself calm to also allow them the space to express themselves and manage their emotions and teach them how to manage their emotions. So when you're doing all of that, plus dealing with, just the load of motherhood, right? Doing the housework, cooking the food, all of the things, it's like there's so much mental noise going on up here that it can be really challenging to rely on motivation. And some days you honestly just can't be asked doing anything. So I really do get it. I really do. My son is 2.5 and he still does not sleep through the night. So I get it. And I'm still breastfeeding too. So fun. Anyway, one of the biggest things that has been game changer for me is probably one of the smallest shifts is rather than spending hours and hours in the gym lifting weights and fluffing around, I've found a way to be much more effective with my training. And for a bit of background, I am a qualified personal trainer. So I literally had to mold and design a way, write a program where I could get results, I could be effective and efficient without needing to go and spend hours in a gym. I also wrote it in a way that if I'm traveling or if I don't have equipment, the whole program is free of equipment. It's all body weight. So I'm able to complete it no matter what. I've really made it be as easy as possible to get it done. So that's something huge that I changed, was like my style of training, my method of training. And now it's like 30-minute workouts, no equipment. I do still do weights sometimes as well. But mostly I created this program as well for other mums to utilize, so that they don't have to leave their house, they don't have to go to a gym, they can get it done around their kids, they don't need all the equipment, and still get results. So it's designed to be progressive and overload and get harder as you move through the 12 weeks. So the other thing that I really want to speak on is flexibility, because this has been, sorry, it's just gotten so bright in here. Hopefully it hasn't messed up the screen. I'm just going to have a sip of my matcha. So the other thing I want to talk about is flexibility. Flexibility has been the biggest tool, the best strategy for me to use as a mum and as a human, in terms of being productive, getting shit done, and looking after myself. So with flexibility, this is where I kind of swap out motivation for flexibility. So it's how can you, quite often when you're a mum, like the days don't go to plan, or your kids don't do the things you want to do when you want them to do them. And so quite often our plans can just go out the window. And while it's still great to have a plan for the day, rather than have strict times, I like to have priorities. So a couple of things that I really want to get done that day. And yes, I can have it planned, but it's about being flexible so that if the plan changes, oh my gosh, I need some sunglasses. It's so bright in here. If the plan changes, then I can adapt. I can shift things around. I can make things work in a different way and find a new time to go and get my 30 minutes of movement in, or swap around what I'm making for dinner, or whatever it needs to be. It's about how can you be more flexible, because at the end of the day, the more flexibility you have, the more you're going to win. And also it's like, okay, if you wake up one day and you've had a hell of a night's sleep and you honestly cannot be bothered moving your body, maybe instead of a workout, you go and do a 20-30 minute walk around the block. And maybe it's not perfect. Maybe you have to take your kid on their bike or in the pram or whatever it is. But it's like still finding a way to move your body, but just being flexible with how it happens. So that is a huge piece that I have implemented myself, and it's something massive that I really teach my clients because it's so powerful. The other thing that I wanted to speak about was two things really. So the first one is having standards for yourself. So having a baseline for how you want to show up each day, or a baseline for your minimum non-negotiables that you have every single day in regards to life, self-care, whatever it is. So for me, I kind of have my minimums, and then I have goals or little things that I want to focus on. So for me, my minimums are, I always do my skincare every single day. Every morning, every evening, I always do my skincare. I always brush my hair. I usually will curl my hair or make it look somewhat nice, somewhat decent, put some product in it, whatever it is. So I like to put myself together because I know that I feel better and I show up better. I show up more confidently. I show up more positive, more energetic because I feel better. What's the other things that I do? So minimum things is like having breakfast. I always eat breakfast, and I usually try and have something that's like higher protein, more filling, just to keep me full through the day. And then other things that are probably more goals, just to give you a few examples. So probably more goals, I would call them, but I also aim to have them as my standards every single day. So it's like, even on the shittest day, can I still aim to get these things done? So it's like, moving my body is one, but usually even when I'm doing a workout, I'll still aim in the day to go for at least 20-30 minute walk around the town where we live, with my son. And that is just a great way to get steps in, to get your body moving, to get you out of the house. So that's usually like a standard for me, a minimum. Reading 10 pages of a book is usually something that I like to stick to. I do miss the occasional day here and there where I prioritize other things, because I'm like, oh, I've got to do some work or whatever it is. But normally I'll try and do that in the morning, first thing, while I have my coffee, so that it's done. What are some other things? These are just to give you examples. Meditating every day, that's a goal. I am not very consistent with that yet, so I need to work on that. I'm going to continue to work on that. But that's probably the difference. Like, it's not a minimum standard for me to meditate. It's just something that I'm really aiming for, that I'd love to start doing. And it hasn't been super high on my priority list. So that's something that I get to shift around and make higher on my priority list. What was the last thing I wanted to talk about? It was, I already talked about standards. What was the other thing? Oh, setting yourself up for success. So it is like making your life easier. So for example, if you know that you're useless at remembering to feed yourself, can you make snacks or buy healthy snacks so that you have things on hand? So for me, whenever we leave the house now and I go to do an activity with my son and I don't know how long we're going to be, I'm always chucking like a protein bar or a muesli bar or something in the bag for me as well, because I always pack heaps of snacks for him and forget myself. So just little things like you could make overnight oats the night before, or like chia puddings, or, pre-make smoothies or whatever it is, or do some meal prep on the weekend and put it all in the freezer, or whatever it is, cooking in bulk, whatever you can do to make your life easier. Quite often I'll even buy I'll make sure I have like lettuce, cucumber, what else? Some other salady things. And then I might have wraps through the week, or I'll fry up some chickpeas and have that as my protein. So I just try and make my life easier and ensure that I have the things in my fridge to avoid eating shit, or to avoid not giving myself the nourishment that I need, right? So just making sure that you stay organized in terms of having things on hand so that you can eat well, and thinking about it in advance and being somewhat organized with your food, I think really, really helps to make sure that you're getting goodness in and actually nourishing yourself properly. So those are a few things that I feel like really help as a mum, and I hope that they help you. And if you do apply any and you're like, oh my God, this is so great, or it's changed my life, please let me know, because I always love to hear from any woman that I help, man as well if I help. The other thing I was going to say is, if you are currently struggling with your health and fitness, or you have goals that you haven't hit in the past that you really want to hit this year, come and connect with me over on Instagram, because I would absolutely love to support you in your goals. I'm a mindset coach and personal trainer right now, so I help my clients with their fitness, their mindset, their energetics. We incorporate all of it. And so my 12-week program that I mentioned earlier in the video, it's actually part of a fitness and mindset coaching container. So it's called Sweat, Sculpt and Burn. You get your 12 weeks of fitness program, you get your 12 weeks of mindset modules, and then you get fortnightly calls with me, and also a one-to-one chat support with me as well. So there is so much there to support you, and I promise you this is different from anything you've tried before. It's so different. So if you would love some information about it, come and connect with me over on Instagram. I would love to meet you and I would love to have a chat. Hope you have a fabulous week. Bye.